Hello, McFluffy52 here, back with more Phyrexia All Will Be One action, and today we're playing a Golgari scam list. And what I mean by scam is we have these kind of prototype creatures that if we let them die, and we protect them with something like Undying Malice which says that if it would die, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. These prototypes go from their lower cost prototype versions to their full cost versions. The nice thing is we can also use these protection spells like Undying Malice if creature, or until end of turn, target creature gains when it dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Similar with Necrogen Communion, this is just an enchantment. We can use those spells to protect our like Simian Simulacrum, our Glissa Sunslayer, which we really want to stick around and be able to keep defending or attacking and doing whatever. And then lastly, we have some other fun things here with some deathtouch creatures such as Bilious Skulldweller or Glissa Sunslayer, first strike deathtouch, really awesome. We have Infectious Bite, which says target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Now the thing with deathtouch is it says any amount of damage a source with deathtouch deals to a creature is enough to destroy it. And since the way this is worded, it says target creature you control deals damage equal to its power. If we use Infectious Bite with Bilious Skulldweller, we basically get to use a green removal spell for 2 mana. And then also, we have a bit of a poison sub-theme here with the Skulldweller. Necrogen Communion gives Toxic 2. If we give that onto Bloated Contaminator, it has Toxic 3 that can trample over, and then if it tramples over, it gets to proliferate. In addition, we have a bit of a +1/+1 counter sub-theme with Simian Simulacrum here, able to give out +1/+1 counters, as well as the Undying Malice giving a +1/+1 counter, and we can proliferate that with Vraska here. And then Vraska is also just a nice curve ender here. It can draw us cards, but we lose a life, but we also get to proliferate. We can remove things for -2, and then if we get up to 9 counters, we can go ahead and potentially remove our opponent by giving them up to 9 poisons, so that all we have to do is get one more through. So let's go ahead and see how we can do on the rank ladder with this deck. We ended up building this deck during our stream, not yesterday but the day before that, and when we were playtesting it, it turned out pretty well. So let's go ahead and see how we do. There'll be a full deck tech at the end of the video, so if you're interested in that, stick around. And if you enjoy Magic the Gathering Arena videos, consider subscribing, because I try and make videos every single day. We try and make interesting and unique decks. We're not necessarily playing a bunch of tier decks with the sole goal to rank up. The goal is to try new things and have some fun. Llanowar Waste is gonna make us pay 1 life. I don't know why the game's acting so stuttery right now. It likes to do that when I have just booted up the game, I feel like. Okay, that's something we can play on too. This is a 1/1 Death Toucher for 2, and then if we can get it to flip though, it's a 5/4 with Death Touch. So it's just a nice prototype creature to throw in this deck. We have a variety of prototypes here. I won't say this deck is super finely tuned in on like what are the best cards. We are playing a bit of a variety here. What do we want to do? Do we think our opponent's being multicolor here? So that indicates that they're probably playing like legendaries. Maybe they have a sweeper, but they're gonna be slow, I imagine. So we can probably go ahead. Bet on no removal here. Grows our Evolving Adaptive. We get to swing in. Not really pumping out a ton of damage here, but still not bad. We'll probably cast the Necrogen Communion on the Goring Warplow and hold up the Undying Malice on the Bloated Contaminator. So that is a bit of a problem because it can block our Evolving Adaptive. But we may just let our Evolving Adaptive die. 1/1 with Death Touch with Toxic 2, pretty nice. We'll hold up the Evolving Adaptive. You do not need to go ahead and attack in. See if our opponent wants to block. No, they don't. Okay, well, that's fine. because we get to go ahead and deal 3 toxic damage. And also grow our Evolving Adaptive. There's a nice reason to have Evolving Adaptive here as our 1-drop. Now our Evolving Adaptive can trade with their Hajar. It looks like they're just playing 5-color Legends, so we can expect a Joda if they get to 5 mana, most likely. They got all the different triomes, so that's impressive. Catilda means they can start tapping their humans. Is it 5-color humans? I do wonder. My turn. Go ahead and play out another one of these. This will grow our Evolving Adaptive so I can attack over our opponents. Creatures, and let's go ahead and see what our opponent wants to do. We're gonna getting them up to 8 toxic here, so they better have an answer. They better have an untapped land and a Joda would be my thoughts. We got our 5/5 Evolving Adaptive, so it's now officially bigger than our Bloated Contaminators. Ooh, the Asa. Okay. If we draw into land, we can play Vraska and then just get rid of their Liesa and win the game. It's not exactly what I was thinking of, but it will be something here. I mean, they don't have enough blockers to block everything, so they would have to block all the toxic creatures, but there's enough things to trample through, so I think we just win. All attack and win. Oh, I forgot they have mana there. Bloated Contaminator. Yeah, there you go. Well, if they kill one of the Bloated Contaminators with their Liesa, we can go ahead and give it Undying Malice and flip it. They also have to block the Goring Warplow for them to not die, and then it flips into a massive Death Toucher. I mean, they're still taking a fair amount of damage here. They're gonna gain 4 and take 5. Oh, it exiles. I forgot Liesa actually ruins our plans entirely. If a creature our opponent controls would die, exile instead. So the scam plan is completely over. So that was a waste of our card. We need to get rid of their Liesa. We really need that land. If we can get that land, I think we have a chance of winning. Alright, let me think here for a split second. We could activate the Rootwire Amalgam, but it's not gonna do it. We need to get this Vraska out there. Vraska out here. Get rid of their Liesa, so at least the Goring Warpile can flip. I do wonder if they sacrifice this treasure token, do they get the token from Rotted Drobic? I wonder if our opponent will go ahead and test it out. Go ahead and swing in with everything here, I think. Just put the pressure on our opponent. They have to, well, if any of them gets through, they die. But they don't have enough blockers, so they would have to crack their token, their treasure token. Let's see if they go for it. Or they need a Leyline Binding, but they don't have any untapped humans that don't have Summoning Sickness. So I think we go ahead and win. Goring Warplow going through for the Toxic 2. Also got our opponent down to 2 life. It doesn't work. Alright, that's good to know. 10 Toxic, 1 life. I mean, we almost killed them both ways. That is good to know that. If you turn something into a treasure token and Rotted Dropic's there, they don't get the creature token. That might be a bug. Who knows? But hey, we'll take the win. They stopped our scamming with the exile effect, which was very sad. We would have gotten a 5/5 Bloated Contaminator with a +1 counter on it, right? And that we would have been able to start proliferating that +1 counter, which would have been nice. Ooh, this this hand is not what I would call a winner. 3 Fleshgorgers that require double black and 0 black sources. Alright, this is much better. Do we want the Necrogen Communion? I think we're gonna err on getting the creatures here, and then worry about the actual tricks later. Go ahead, play another swamp. Go ahead, attack it, and get that poison counter on there so we can start proliferating it with Vraska if we get Vraska. Go ahead, attack in first. Attacking in first, just so that our opponent is more likely to waste their removal on our Skulldweller than our Bloated Contaminator. But I'm feeling they saw through that and they're willing to take the 1 more damage. Oh no, it's just Cathartic Pyre. But it indicates that they're probably playing a Reanimator deck here. So let's see how this turns up. We're gonna cast this before combat because, well, we're hoping they don't have a 4 damage instant speed removal, and this can give +1 counters to the Bloated Contaminator, and then this can start trampling over and getting more +1 counters. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see the Wanderer. Can't wait until that card rotates. I'm trying to get rid of that Planeswalker as fast as possible. That's why I went for the Vraska tick down, get rid of the creature. They're gonna have enough white sources to cast their Invoke Justice. If they have like an Atraxa in hand, we're in a little bit of a tough spot. So maybe that would have been a point for keeping Vraska in hand. Alright, well, do you have the freaking Reanimator spell? Do you have the Reanimator spell? Or you just have another Cathartic Pyre? Because they could Cathartic Pyre our Vraska. Cathartic Pyre is the one that actually can target Planeswalkers. Alright, go ahead, play this out, play out this. I have a feeling we're going to see an Atraxa come back soon. Very upsetting though that they had the Wanderer. We don't have any artifact removal. There's no way we're gonna be able to fight around a portal. That's weird. I thought the huh. I wonder if only ranked games show up in the deck history. I don't know. Or oh, I know what it was. Yesterday, my assistant was not working. I may have accidentally closed it, and so that's why we only see the play history from the previous game, as well as the very first game that we played. We have a 2-drop here. Something to play. You can see that we're playing a fair amount of duels because of the fact that we have double black with the what is it called? The Phyrexian Fleshgorger. The prototype version costs double black. Don't have any protection spells for that, unfortunately. Alright, opponent. Would you like to remove her Contaminator? They didn't seem to have any removal. I'm cautious about playing out my Glissa here without protection, just because of how quickly they ripped out a protection spell. You know what we can do? We can play Root Wire Amalgam with a Necrogen Communion. Let's go ahead and attack in. I mean, I guess we could have put Necrogen Communion on the Bloated Contaminator, but our plan isn't necessarily toxic here. At least not yet. Now we got 2 toxic threats. And this one will flip into a 5/5 golem. Also, we can sack it, and then it will flip into the 5/5 while also generating a 6/6 hasty golem token. Unless our opponent has exile removal. Obliterating Bolt is an option, as well as some other things. It looks like our opponent is playing an Anvil deck, based off the fact they played Junkyard Genius. Choose a permanent type. Alright, we'll sacker this. Thank you, opponent, I guess. You get a 5/5 now. That can turn into a 15/15, potentially. Of course, our opponent has the perfect sticky fingers draw. Wait, we just kill our opponent. Bye-bye. Next game. I haven't been able to do that often. I've not played a lot with this Rootwire Amalgam. I didn't have like necessarily the mythics to craft the card. Why does the battlefield take so long to show up? I didn't really have necessarily the mythics to craft this card, nor was I particularly blown away with the fact that, oh, you can just generate a giant hasty golem if you sacrifice it. But yeah, sacrifice it for 3 or 5 mana basically, and then create an XX golem. There is X is 3 times Rootwire Amalgam's power, and it gains haste until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. So our opponent helped us out there, flipping it so that we could make a 15/15 golem and swing in and smash their face. That was very kind of them. That is the scam dream. I really find Necrogen Communion is a pretty fun enchantment. I don't think it's quite strong enough to be like really good, but it's still like decently playable. It is super fun with Danitha though, when you can make like an immortal creature. There's a video of that on the channel where I think I called it Danitha Scam is the name of the video. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. But yeah, basically the enchantment makes Danitha immortal. Opponent's like, are they playing Golgari Toxic? Not quite. Reanimator though, this is running wild everywhere. I was thinking of there's a person on YouTube that goes by Zero, I think is the name of their channel. I don't know exactly how it's supposed to be pronounced, but our opponent, I guess, discarded a land and didn't have more lands, and they were afraid of getting toxiced out before it was I mean, I'll take it. But they go by their channel name is Zero, and they've been doing Reanimator decks for like the past while, and they make a bunch of videos a day where it's just like matches. But I really want to try like their Reanimator deck as one of like the videos, just because I feel like it's, as someone who's they've been playing Reanimator so long, and they've been playing it in like high mythic, the Reanimator deck they have. But I like their deck list because they have like the world spell, or sorry, yeah, the world spell, as well as like one with the multiverse. I really like those cards. And it seems like it'd be pretty fun. I'm gonna keep this hand. I think it's maybe a bit silly of me to do so, but it was nice knowing you, Evolving Adaptive. You're probably gonna get burn spelled. No, another bitter reunion, more Reanimator. Speak of Boros Reanimator, look at what our opponent is up to. Yeah, maybe we should throw a few Canker Blooms in this deck to get rid of enchantments and artifacts. Jungle Hollow, that just leaves us with not much to do here, but hey, it's another land, so that gets us where we need to be going. Our opponent presumably has a removal or a sweeper. They keep hovering our creatures. Okay, I suspect they have like a sweeper that they might be holding on to. In that case, let's go ahead and play out Rootwire Amalgam, and then we can protect it with the Undying Malice. This grows these so that we can swing in for more damage. But I didn't really want to throw out a Bloated Contaminator that's just going to die. Nope, they could just have the reanimation right off the rip. Nope, there's the reanimation. Now what are they going to cast? A portal? This is why I love... Ooh, the world spell. This is looking very similar to the list I was talking about. Okay. Oh, not Hullbreaker. Come on. Shucks. We need a way to get past this Hullbreaker horror. I mean, build your 8/8 and see what happens. I mean, they can just get their Hullbreaker horror back with Portal. I have not seen people playing Hullbreaker horror with and Reanimator, but I hate every second of it. I hate this card. Bounce all your things, yay! The spell can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Oh, interesting. Alright, cast your instant. Bouncing our Rootwire Amalgam. What? Hold on. That's weird. Go ahead, cast this onto that. I mean, we're putting a lot of our eggs in one basket here, but don't have much of a choice. But they can just get it back here, which is part of the problem. Any spell. Do you have anything you can cast in your hand? You have everything in your hand is castable because you can cast it for free. You can cast one spell during each of your turns for free. Return the Simian Simulacrum. Ah, the Bitter Reunion. Ah, that's fine. No. Do they have a good answer to this? One with a multiverse and a portal. But we can still haste out the Simian Simulacrum from our graveyard. So if they remove the board without having a blocker, they're casting that for mana, so they still have one free spell. So they need like they would need another Hullbreaker horror, another creature to cast out. Are we going to beat Reanimator with Golgari Scam? That would be pretty funny. They have one mountain, which does seem to be a bit of a choke point for them right now, but at the same time, they have like a free spell with one with the multiverse. Yep, that's in our graveyard. Do they have the answer? An Atraxa here would be pretty good. That'd basically shut us out of the game completely. They got a mountain. I'm holding my breath. This is so close. I think they're just trying to think through if anything they could possibly do gets them. That's a free spell, so they have. Oh no. I don't think they have anything to deal with this. Wow, that was tight. Our opponent had a pretty nice reanimator there, but Simian Simulacrum is a beast. I love that card. It's a beast. Throwing around +1/+1 counters while also just being a nice card that if they sweep of the board, you haste it out of the graveyard for 4 damage, kill that planeswalker, kill the opponent, do whatever you need to do with it. I love it. Simian Simulacrum. I love the card. Alright. See how we can do against our next victim. This one is for Plat 1. If we can win this one, we can go into Plat 1. Which would be pretty hype. World Champion chip sleeves. Oh, whoops. I forgot. I think I was too slow to say thank you. That's unfortunate. No, to be fair, our opponent was nicing our gain land. I don't know if they mean well by that. This is a big body. Go up the Scrapgorger like we actually have something. What are these World Championship sleeves? I found out recently that there were the trophy pet. The way people got it, we're playing against Grixis. This is one of the best decks in the format. It's gonna be an uphill battle, but the sleeves. Ooh. Ooh. Alrighty. Play Goring Warplow. Okay. As much as I want to Goring Warplow their Blood Tide Harvester, we're gonna go ahead and do this. The reason being is I'm worried about the Goring Warplow being cut down in response, which would cause a problem. Do you actually want to trade your Bankbuster? Because this seems like kind of a win for us. Bankbuster is 3 card draws. 3 card draws. And you're just going to block a 4/4 that's going to toxic you a little? I mean, hey. I'll take the trade. Seems pretty good to me. Hold up the Scrapgorger until the end of the turn, and then we'll exile a card from a graveyard, or we can go instant speed response. If they play a Corpse Appraiser trying to exile one of their creatures, we can stop that so they don't get the top 3 card look, pick one out thing going on. Corpse Appraiser, one of the most popular cards in the format, or in the top 50 most played cards in the format. Corpse Appraiser, what is it going for? Death. Your graveyard. Yeah, about that. No. Nope. Get out of here. Get. Go. It feels good to be screwing with their stuff, even if it's not going to translate into a win for us. It's just kind of funny. Alright, next to combat. Goring Warplow, get at it. They're not gonna block. Bonk. End turn. Hold up the Scrapgorger again if they go for anything. They go ahead and swing in. We don't really mind because we still have the Fleshgorger that we can go ahead and attack in and regain our 3 life. The only thing that would be devastating here is a Brotherhood's End that they might be playing. They have 2 red. But it's more likely they're playing like Shieldred or something else. Cycling a Xander's Lounge away with a blood token. Looking for an untapped land? I don't know. Perhaps they had quite a few lands in hand. Oh, come on. Don't be that way. I just want to have fun. They can't play a Corpse Appraiser because they don't have the black and blue mana for it. They got 2 mountains. Graveyard, or yeah, cemetery. Yeah, Graveyard Trespasser, not Cemetery Trespasser. Have been calling it Cemetery Trespasser? I may have been saying that. Anyways, my turn. Bloated Contaminator comes down. Go ahead, swing in with the Fleshgorger, and then we'll hold everything else up as blockers. Gain 3 life, back up to 20. I love Fleshgorger. It's a good card. As well as the million other cards in black. Like a Graveyard Trespasser. This card's ridiculous. It is one of the few surviving werewolves. Oh, there's nothing relevant in the graveyards. Well, get rid of your Bank Buster. My turn. Alright, we're gonna go ahead to hold up everything, I think, for the most part. We'll go ahead and swing with the Bloated Contaminator. I think. Okay. We'll hold up our Scrapgorger's tap and exile ability so they can't get value out of the graveyard creature. We have the 1/1 deathtoucher, and we have a swamp in hand that they don't know is a swamp. We're holding it up because maybe they'll think that we have something cool. You know, juke them out. And frankly, if we draw into another land, we can just play this land and then we'll be chilling. Alright, Invoke Despair. Invoke Despair. Oh, well, at this point it doesn't really matter if we sacrifice the Scrapgorger, though I would have liked to tap it. I made a bit of an oopsie there. I didn't realize we weren't going to be able to tap it in response. They'll probably swing into the Graveyard Glutton at least. Yeah, there you go. And they can block it with the Goring Warplow, get rid of it. Save ourselves a bit of damage here. That card is ridiculous. I hate it. Gain ourselves some life. Play this out for 5. We have a 5/5 blocker. Opponent staring at it, thinking that Go for the Throat is not the best card right now. Get it? Because Go for the Throat says destroy target non-artifact creature, and well, Rootwire Amalgam happens to be an artifact, so they're gonna have a little trouble with the removal of that card. Okay, well that works. Yep, that is an option when you're playing Grixis, I guess. I actually have no idea if they have Go for the Throat, but I just think it's kind of likely. All right, let's go to combat. They don't know what's gonna happen here. Destroy target artifact. Negate. Ah, they are truly running the best colors, aren't they? And it flips the night. They don't have to cast anything during their turn, they just have to swing that freaking Corpse Appraiser. Cut down. Oh no, you're just gonna talk Anuma back. You're man, I hate Grixis. Now you're gonna have to make a choice. Do I cast the Invoke Despair or do I cast the Cemetery Trespasser? Oi oi. Endless card draw. Endless card draw, I tell you. Whatever. We're just gonna die. Invoke. No? Corpse Appraiser. Pick out the best card from the top 3. Yay. Opponent really had like their 1 negate in hand. That's so frustrating. It's almost like you have everything in Grixis. The Fable, the Braids, the Go for the Throats, the Trespassers, the Corpse Appraisers. Like a tad early concede, but really we would have had to top deck a board wipe to actually get back into that game. We don't have any. They would have just, there's no way we top deck into a creature that actually trades favorably into all of that, I don't think. I guess we could have top decked a Fleshgorger and then played it out for like full cost and then like started blocking, but if they ever top decked anything else, I don't know. We had like a turn to do that though. What do we want to keep? Goring Warplow is probably nicer than Rootwire Amalgam right here, just because it stands as a good blocker. We mine less if it gets removed. Burn. Okay, Goring Warplow is a little less good into burn. As well as our pain land here. We just need this Bloated Contaminator out here. Though, of course, our burn player would have one of the most perfect hands. Feldon, or you have a Phoenix Chick and a Play with Fire. Phoenix Chick plus Play with Fire would probably be the cleanest way for them to pump through as much damage. Oh wait, no, they could still do a Play with Fire with Feldon. Impressive. I like that does 1 damage to only our creatures. There's the Feldon. Great, the music stops right as we're getting bashed. Absolutely bashed by the most fun deck in the format. Mono red. Can't really attack in, can we? Goring Warplow can block the Feldon, and then we can block the Monastery Swift Spear with the Bloated Contaminator. Do they have a Lightning Strike? If they have a Lightning Strike, they win right here. If they have a Play with Fire, they can kill the Bloated Contaminator. I mean, they get to search their top 4 cards for a singular burn spell. Yay! Oh, it gets to kill us. Did you find a Lightning Strike? I'm having fun. Is it apparent? And the Festivities. You're gonna need a Mechanized Warfare for that to finish off the job. Do you have the Mechanized Warfare? No, you don't. But do you have another End the Festivities in hand? Oh, you have another Feldon. Okay. Good talk, opponent. Alright, we need to kill our opponent fast and faster. And by that I mean like incredibly fast. Go ahead, play out this, put it on the Bloated Contaminator, that is for certain. And then we play the Necrogen Communion on the Simian Simulacrum, so that it's a viable blocker that can't get removed easily. Though, if we attack in with this, we lose our block. Oh, whatever. What the hell? Oh, wait, they can't block. My bad. Alright. Basically, do they draw into a 2/2 haster? Which they can't. Do they draw into a Phoenix Chick or a Play with Fire? Please be a mountain. Please? Or do they draw into an End of the Festivities? Or do they draw into Kamano? Or do they draw in, like, Play with Fire, Lightning Strike, Kamano, Thundering Raiju, Squee, like, name it. Name it, it's a win. I mean, we have no choice but to block that, and that is our lowest power creature that would effectively block that. Put this on the Bloated Contaminator to keep our Trampler nice and huge. Looked like 2 lands, but I'm wrong. Swift Spear. Nope. Okay, they just picked out a land. I hate these red players. Let's wait until the last second to Lightning Strike to give them hope and joy that they might actually get to play a fair fucking game where the opponent doesn't just spam mono red, like the best deck to get yourself to Mythic in like less than a fucking 11 hours. You don't even have to like craft like, I don't know, 8 rares and craft yourself a mono red deck, spam it on the ladder, play like 3 5-minute games or like 3 to 5 minute games and just oops, I'm fucking Mythic. Deck is obnoxious. It's just so dumb. Yeah, there's choices. It's not like completely like stupid to play, but it's just so not fun to play into. If the opponent plays first, or if you're not playing another tier 1 deck, you might as well go shove it. Dude literally holds their Lightning Strike until after combat. Like, just cast the Lightning. You didn't even need to go to combat. You could have just cast the Lightning Strike. If you want to play games that are longer, play some deck besides mono red. That would be the only reason to not just instantly cast the Lightning Strike. I don't know. McFluffy, you're getting too mad. Sure. One mana bounce spell. Rona's Vortex. Fading Hope. Ah, consider. Alright, we're into another fun deck. Mono blue. Where Haughty Jin punches you in the face. They probably have a Make Disappear. So what are we most okay with being Make Disappeared? Make this disappear, please. They let it through. Weird. Weird. Nice thing is Scrapgorger gets to exile things from graveyards, so we're not completely out of luck here. Well, they didn't really have any counter spells, so let's go see what happens here. The Bloated Contaminator would grow our Evolving Adaptive here. I really want to attack him with the Scrapgorger, but we're gonna go ahead and try playing a Fleshgorger out. I'm gonna exile everything in your graveyard. How about that? We just need a fucking land. If we can draw a fucking land, the fact that they bounced our Scrapgorger won't matter. We'll just play out a Bloated Contaminator and keep pounding face. Of course. Of course, sure. Let's play out Necrogen Communion at least. Are you gonna waste your counterspell on this? It only costs you 2 mana anyways. Or sorry, 1 mana if it's a negate. A 3 mana 4/4 with flying that discounts their spells and grows even bigger. Thank you for the help. They do have 12 damage in the air though, so we have that to look forward to. Dying anytime now. Sure. Where the fuck is our third land? There's 24 lands in this deck, and we're like 24 cards deep. That means like roughly a third of the cards that we should have drawn been lands. And so like a third of 24 cards is, well, actually we're 14 cards deep. So a third of that is, I don't know, 4 or 5. We should have 5 lands. No, we'll go play the Scrapgorger. Start removing spells from the graveyard, so maybe we just won't die. Just maybe. Die. Oh, I forgot. I have this. I guess what we could do here is we could go ahead, cast out this, get ourselves another attacker. Instant. We don't have lethal damage. Actually, we do have lethal damage, I think, because they can't double block the Phyrexian. Actually, no, we don't have lethal damage. Next turn, we have lethal. Assuming they don't play out another 1-cost Valerian Terror. I love Haughty Jin. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into the deck tech. Golgari Scam. So for this deck, we have actually quite a few 1-drops that we're looking to play here. Scam, in terms of Scam, the idea is that, well, we have these prototype creatures, or these creatures that we intend to die, and we kind of want them to die so they can revive and be stronger, right? So we have Undying Malice and Necrogen Communion to enable this. Necrogen Communion is from Phyrexian All Will Be One. It's an enchantment that also gives Toxic 2, which can help us when we cast that on a Bloated Contaminator and get swing through, trampling over some toxic damage. But that being said, in terms of cards that we have Bilious Skulldweller. We have two of these. They are 1 mana, 1/1 Death Touch with Toxic 1. This fits with the Toxic plan. It's just a really nice 1-drop in black because, well, nobody really wants to swing into a Death Toucher. And then with Infectious Bite, we can actually translate this into just straight up removal of opponent's creatures, which is nice. And then we can also give around even more poison counters with Infectious Bite. Undying Malice, this is the protection spell that we've been talking about a bunch. We got to see in action, and particularly well in that last game, casting it on the Fleshgorger to go ahead and flip it into its larger form with an additional +1/+1 counter. This +1/+1 counter does matter that when we're playing around with Bloated Contaminator because, well, Bloated Contaminator, when it deals damage to a player, proliferate. So if our opponent goes to remove the Bloated Contaminator and we use Undying Malice on it, and it gets a +1/+1 counter, it's a 5/5 with Trample, Toxic 1, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. So that means every time we connect with our opponent, we get to proliferate that +1/+1 counter and make it even bigger of a creature to go ahead and trample through. Proliferating and trampling through also works well with our third 1-drop, which is Evolving Adaptive. 1 green that enters with the battlefield with an oil counter on it. It gets +1/+1 for each oil counter on it when another creature enters the battlefield under your control. If that creature has greater power or toughness than Evolving Adaptive, put an oil counter on Evolving Adaptive. So this means when we cast out Rootwire Amalgam as like a 2/3, it's going to grow. When we cast out Scrapgorger as an 0/3, it's going to grow because the 3 toughness is greater than a 1/1. We have Simian Simulacrum, that's a 2/1 when it enters the battlefield, so that can also help things grow. Bloated Contaminator is our resident 4/4 that helps it grow up to 4 power. Glissa is a 3/3, helps it grow. This is usually a 3/3 that will help it grow. But then also those counters, those oil counters that it has normally will also get proliferated by Bloated Contaminator and Vraska, which can also proliferate. Necrogen Communion, we already talked about this card. Enchantment Aura that says enchant creature you control. Enchanted creature has Toxic 2. When enchanted creature dies, you go ahead and return to the battlefield under your control. So this helps us return our prototypes out there back as their larger forms. And then the Toxic 2 can be relevant if we get a fair amount of Toxic going on. We can actually lethal our opponent with Toxic. There was a game there, we got our opponent to 10 Toxic or 10 poison and 1 life. So we do really a mix of damage, but the Toxic is a nice sort of backup plan to deal with those more pesky decks, that will gain a bunch of life. Armored Scrapgorger, we saw this card being relevant again against the Haughty Djinn. Exiling cards from the graveyard also helped us fix our mana and get us up to 3 mana when we were stuck on 2 lands for some unbelievable reason. Just bad luck. It happens, but it is nonetheless frustrating. This helps us save those times and also can help us against those Haughty Djinn matchups, as well as other things like that Corpse Appraiser, despite we still lost to that deck because the endless value train that it is one of the better decks in the format, so not too shocking to see. But yeah, 0/3 can become a 3/3, exile stuff, fixes mana, and ramps us pretty nice. Infectious Bite, this is our sort of removal spell of choice. We don't really have any actual like removal here, but if we can go ahead, Infectious Bite, one of our 4/4s, or Infectious Bite out 4 damage, that's not bad. It also works well with lifelink, technically. Lifelink says damage dealt by a creature or planeswalker spell with lifelink also causes its controller to gain that much life. So Infectious Bite, if we use Infectious Bite along with Phyrexian Fleshgorger, say we have the 7/5 Phyrexian Fleshgorger, and the opponent has less than 7 toughness creature that we'd like to remove, we can actually gain a bunch of life with Infectious Bite, but it also works really well with deathtouch, and that's primarily the reason we're playing this, besides the poison counter is also kind of nice. Rootwire Amalgam, this card, we actually saw it become very useful in one of our matches where we were able to sack it for the 5 mana and go ahead, create a massive hasty golem because they had no blockers, which was very nice. Goring Warplow, this was somewhat useful in our matches. A 1/1 with deathtouch is pretty nice, so yeah. Simian Simulacrum, love this card. Definitely recommend this card if you're playing green of any sort and you're maybe going aggro, Simian Simulacrum is a very nice card. It can be a 4/3, or you can give your +1 counters to what other creature that has extra protection, like Phyrexian Fleshgorger that has Menace, making it evasive, and lifelink, which can help you gain more life. Or you put those +1 counters on your Bloated Contaminator, and you go ahead and trample over more. Or you can put it on your Glissa Sunslayer, which is first strike and deathtouch, so that it's even more of a threat when it connects. Or you just put it on your Evolving Adaptive, I don't know. You can spread the love, and then also, most importantly, the Unearth allows you to go ahead. Oh, you swept the board. Well, we have a 4/3 haster from our graveyard. Very nice. And it's not even that expensive to Unearth. It's 4 mana, but 2 green. So the 2 green might be like one of the few problems that you run into in a deck that you're playing Simian Simulacrum, because you might be playing a dual colored deck, and 2 green pips can sometimes be restrictive. Bloated Contaminator, 4/4, toxic 1, trample. When it tramples over, proliferate. Yep. Glissa, this card we did not get to see in action. I think it got counterspelled, or what happened with it? Or did we just not play it that last match? Anyways, that's beside the point. It's a legendary. For 3 mana, it's first strike, deathtouch through 3, and when it deals combat damage to a player, choose 1. So we can go ahead and remove enchantments with this if they're pesky and annoying. We can draw a card and lose a life if we get connect, and then we can also remove 3 counters from target permanent. This can go ahead and deal with planeswalkers, or say the opponent is playing the Archfiend of the Dross. Go ahead, remove the counters from the Archfiend of the Dross. The opponent will lose the turn, or lose the game on their upkeep, which is very spicy. And then we're playing a full playset of Phyrexian Fleshgorger here because, well, 3/3 Menace lifelink, nice card, and then flipping it into its bigger form is crazy, and that's probably one of the best scam targets that we have. I'm playing 2 Vraskas here. We didn't get to see a ton of Vraska besides it helping us to finish out a game with the -2 to clear the way. But this card can be amazing in this deck because we got, this got +1 counters. Anything that we Undying Malice has +1 counters. Simian Simulacrum gets +1 counters. We're going to be giving the opponent poison with our toxic options here. So there's a lot of things to proliferate. So this proliferate is not only good for Vraska's gaining loyalty, it's good for the rest of our board and the opponent who is getting toxiced out. And then the -2 is really nice for removal, and then the -9 can basically win you the game. But usually I don't think you're going to see the -9 too often. And then the lands, we're playing a bunch of duels. We have Llanowar Waste, Jungle Hollow. I don't have a ton of these Deathcap Glaives, but I don't want to craft them because the set's going to be rotating this year, so we only have one of those. And then we have our basics and our Talkanuma and Boseiju. So that's the deck. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys would like to see in future videos. What do you think about the deck? What would you done differently? Yeah, have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, wherever and whenever you're watching. Ciao.